was on a movie that had to do with supernatural phenomenon with a guy named Uri Geller, who is an Israeli, supposedly person who can bend spoons, which he can't. But he says he can. He's a magician. That's what Chris Angel said. Look, I'm going to tell you. I'm going to be honest with you. Nothing I do is supernatural. I am a magician. It is not supernatural, sleight of hand trickery. I like that about him. Even his walking on the water, all that's just tricks. He's not supernatural. He's honest. Uri Geller goes, oh, no, I've been doing this since I'm a kid. It's supernatural. Well, years ago, I saw, Johnny, what was his name? Had his own, Carson. Is that right? Yeah, Johnny Carson had his own, show at night. And he used to be an amateur magician. And he had his doubts about Uri Geller, so he contacted another man. He said, I want to prove this man is true or false. He said, I tell you what you do. Don't tell him you're going to have all these tests for him to do. All the stuff he does on TV, you set it out there and have it ready to go. Do not let anybody on his staff come up there to that table, and he won't be able to do a thing. And that's exactly what happened. I watched that show, and he's sitting there like, he goes, man, I'm afraid of that table, he said. He goes, why? You do this all the time. And he said, we've drawn pictures. Here's the spoon. Here you go. Unless he has his spoon, he can't bend it. But he can bend the spoon that he's already figured. But a spoon you hand him, he cannot bend it because he's a magician. So Chris Angel on this show was challenging these guys. Yes, I am supernatural. They were trying to win it. No, you're not. You're a magician. And he said, okay, if all y'all supernatural people out there, he said, I got on this piece of paper something on this paper. You tell me what's on this piece of paper, I will give you $1 million. So the internet people flooded what they thought was on it, everybody, and nobody got it right. Even Mr. Uri Geller said, I'm fixing to open it. Come on, here you go, stick it to your head. Come on, tell me what's in it for $1 million. Come on, why can't you do it? And you know what he had on it? 9/10. He said, if you knew what was going to happen on 9/11, on 9/10, we could have stopped it. And he said, I got another one over here, but I won't open it until you go to my show tomorrow. He's pretty smart. A teaser, that's right. But God knew. And that's the thing we got to know. God knows future. And God showed me the future on a lot of things, all of which came to pass for my life, even for other people. Just here and there along the way, God can do that. Then Jesus said, I've told you before it comes to pass that when it comes to pass, you might believe. And so our faith as a Christian faith, if you really study the Bible as you should, you'll see that's a supernatural book by a supernatural God talking about the future and all the things that he's predicted has come to pass to date. And we're in the midst of a lot of fulfillment happening. So I like to tell you the conclusion at the start. Christians, let's wake up and see we are in the end time scenario. Records will be broken in every area till Jesus comes back because we're in the birth pains, and you'll see that. If you're not right with God, then make that your first priority. Amen. Be born again. Let Jesus in your life. Then live by faith in God, not fear, because you can see, even with this virus, what we'll talk about a little more, a lot of people got fearful. They run to the store. I'm not taking any question. And they run to the store and they overbuy things, et cetera, et cetera. So we're going to be looking at the first pattern is the birth pain pattern. So here you are with all these verses in the Bible describing these signs. And I'm telling you, it's like trying to drink water from a fire hydrant. It's a lot to it. Amen. So I found through all the years of studying it now for over 40 years that if I break it down into these signs of nature, signs of society, spiritual signs, political signs, technological signs, and then the signs of Israel, that you can digest it a little better. And then I've condensed it from my old sermons. I could teach a sermon for an hour on each one of those. And I go, you know what? Y'all are sharp. I can just show you a few things. You'll go, yeah, that's right, that's right, that's right. And you'll catch it, and we can get a lot done in one time. So we're going to skip number 1 to the end there. That's signs of nature, and we'll go to signs of society. So the Bible reads, and if you want to take down notes, you just write these scriptures down. You can read them later. But people would turn from God to selfish pleasures, and that's exactly what you have. It used to be you worked from morning to night, had a lot of long hours. You worked the farm. You did this. You did that. You didn't even have time to to sit around an idle time and to be entertained. But we got so much entertainment. The entertainment we have in this country and in the world has gotten us away from God. Much of it is lustful. It's anti-Christian, and you create a vacuum, something will fill it, and you kick God out, and God will let you kick him out. By the way, God's a gentleman. You don't want me, okay? He backs away. And that vacuum comes, and it's not going to be good. It's going to be evil. Spiritual signs will be false prophets, deception, and lukewarm Christians in the last days. People depart from the faith. There is a move now with the Pope involved in this to have a one-world religion, basically, and to get together with Islam. And they got something called Chrislam now, where Christianity and Islam is trying to get together. But I'm telling you, that the God of Islam is Antichrist. He says there is no father. He had no son, and that's it. It's not going to be. It's going to be this rogue religions, Christianity, other religions try to come together, come up with one world religion, and then in the end, I'll be the enemy though. Not going to go along with you intolerant, but there's intolerant people you ever meet. And so tolerance is you can have an opinion, I have an opinion, there's an opinion. If you don't go along with what I say, you're going to jail, we're going to shut you down, we're going to fire you. And that's not tolerance. But anyway, we see this happening. The Pope came out about a year ago and said Allah is God. And that is life if you've ever seen it. Because they're tired of fighting it. So let's start you right now. So you can say you got to have proof, right? With alcohol, you can prove it. Things others can prove, and so we're having all kinds of trouble. God help us. Immorality increasing just like days of Noah. People be lovers of themselves.